Welcome to ETULAY online tutorial. I'm Tutor Arlyn from Arlyn or Fernandez from San Fabian National High School, Senior High School, SDO Pangasinan 2. Our subject, Grade 12, Inquiries, Investigations, and Immersion, Quarter 2, Module 2. Okay, our topic, identifying the problem and asking the question. Okay. So for quarter 2, week 2, module 2, most essential learning competency or the MELC, we are going to formulate clearly the statement of research problem. Okay, your goals. Before you create a research proposal, you need to identify a problem to address and then a question to ask about your targeted problem. Okay. So it is necessary to choose a topic that interests and motivates the researcher. It should be attainable with available resources and within the given time frame. Also, the research topic should be well defined. That is according to LIDER 2013. Okay, so we often think about and we understand the problems when in fact we don't. For example, if your classmate did not pass his homework or did not participate in class, you might think that he is not motivated. While there are maybe issues in motivation, it may not be the only factor. So he may have an evening job that demands considerable energy and time. Sometimes the teaching strategy may not match his skills and attention level. Therefore, it is crucial to identify the problem that you want to study. So, at the end of this module, you are expected to describe the background of the study, present a conceptual framework, formulate research questions, state research hypotheses, cite benefits and the beneficiaries of the study, indicate scope and the limitation of the study, and define terms in the research study. Okay, let's do some exercises on what do you know. Okay, directions. Write your research title. Write 1 point if it satisfies the guidelines given in writing a research title. Then, add up your points for your total score. Evaluate what is the status of your research title using the scoring rubric on the next page. Okay, for the statements, my research title is, what is your research title? You give yourself a point for each of the following characteristics of a good research title. Is it 1, specific, 2, measurable, 3, achievable, 4, well-defined, 5, clear, 6, beneficial, 7, essential, 8, interesting, 9, relevant, and number 10, easy to understand. And then you total your score. And then let's see in the next. If you got 10 points, congratulations. You're now ready to write your chapter 1. 5 to 9 points, you need to revise your title. But don't worry, you can ask for help from your teacher. 1 to 4 points, you need to change your title. Keep on. I know you can do it. Lesson 1, background of the study. So the background of the study includes a brief rationale to justify the existence of a problem. You're going to explain briefly your rationale or why did you choose this research problem or research topic? Why is this existing as a problem? Okay, and it is an overview of the research topic and explains the researcher's your reason for conducting the study. The background of the study should contain a discussion or explanation of all or any of the following. A, it presents clearly what the problem is all about and directly indicates what problem will be covered by the study. Okay, what is your problem? Why did you choose this research topic? Okay, what is the problem with this research topic? You will state that in your statement of the problem. Letter B, it includes a discussion of the problem from general to specific. Okay, when you say general to specific, if your topic is too broad, you have to make it specific. Okay, The researcher's objective in conducting the study is stated, and it describes how the researcher is motivated to make an inquiry on the problem. So, what motivates you in writing this research topic, this problem? Okay. Letter D, the desire of the researcher to have a deeper understanding of the present study is indicated. Your desire, indicate that in your background of study. And letter E, it includes a discussion of the existing or present condition of the study. It also discusses the aim of the future research or the gap to be filled in by the researcher. So we have here an example of a background of study on the topic improving the test scores of grade 12 technical vocational livelihood or the TVL students in earth and life science through open educational resources or the OER. So we have here how many slides? Okay, so that is stated in how many paragraph or how many pages. Okay. Next, lesson 2, conceptual framework. Conceptual framework, this illustrates what the researcher expects to find out in his research study. It defines the important variables in the study and shows how they relate to each other. The conceptual framework is represented using the paradigm. In other words, it is how the researcher understands the connection between the research variables in his study. It serves as the map of the researcher in pursuing the investigation and is often represented in a visual format. The conceptual framework is represented using a paradigm. The paradigm of a study is a structural pattern or model which illustrates the input, process, and output of the research work. Okay, the input consists of the item statements that are derived from the research questions. The process refers to the statistical tools used in the study. And the output represents the goals or the expected results to be achieved in the study. Okay, a paradigm can be circular, rectangular, or any other form as long as the IPO is represented to show the relationship between the variables and problems. The model may be illustrated as follows: input, process, and output. This is figure 3 paradigm of the study, model 1. Okay. We also have here the paradigm of study, model 2 and model 3 in circular model or figure. This is a good example of a conceptual paradigm. As you can see in this study, the input, process, and output design will be used. The first box contains the input, which is the performance of the grade 12 technical vocational livelihood TVL students in earth and life science before and after the use of open educational resources or the OER. Next is the process which underscores the administration of pre-test and post-test. The use of OER, which includes Colibri, Kiwix, Wondershare, Course Lab, Expeditions, Hot Potatoes, The Hat, Crossword Puzzle, gamification and word search, as well as the test for the difference in the pre-test and post-test scores. The third box, which is the expected output, unfolds the difference between the test scores of grade 12 TVL students in earth and life science before and after the use of OER. Okay, lesson 3, statement of the problem. The statement of the problem consists of the general and the specific questions to be answered by the researcher. Consists of 2 to 3 statements. The answers to the questions may be gathered through the instruments, which includes interviews, questionnaires, pre-test and post-test, or other data gathering methods. It must be arranged in order of the researcher's research design. And the statement of the problem consists of questions that may determine the significant relationships and differences of the variables. Okay, this is an example of statement of the problem. Okay, this study aims to improve the test scores of grade 12 and so on. That is the research title. Okay, we have there specifically, it seeks to answer the following questions. Then you state your problem in two or more sentences. For example, what is the number one question? What is the test score of the grade 12 TVLs students in Earth and Life Science subject before and after utilizing the Open Educational Resources or the OER? And number two statement of the problem, is there a significant difference between the pre-test and the post-test result in Earth and Life Science subject after utilizing Open Educational Resources? If you can see or notice that in statement number two, okay, one and two, there are two statements. First is the positive statement or question, and the second is a negative statement, okay, or the null, which we will explain like and study later. Okay, lesson 4, research hypothesis. Hypothesis is known as an educated guess. What is a guess? Hula. Okay, so ito yung inyong hula sa inyong research study. It is a tentative explanation for a certain event, behavior, or phenomenon. So a research hypothesis is tentative because it can only be finally evaluated after the research variables shall have been tested. Okay, there are two types of hypothesis, the null and the alternative. The null hypothesis denies the existence of a relationship or difference between variables. The alternative hypothesis is always stated in the positive form. Such hypothesis affirms the existence of a relationship or difference among variables. Example of research hypothesis. Okay, the null hypothesis. It is stated in there is no significant difference between the pre-test and the post-test results in Earth and Life Science subjects after utilizing Open Educational Resources or the OER. For the alternative hypothesis, it is stated like this. There is a significant difference between the pre-test and the post-test results in Earth and Life Science subjects after utilizing the Open Educational Resources or the OER. So you can see the two difference. Ano yung pagkakaiba ng null hypothesis at ng alternative hypothesis? For the null, of course, it is negative. So you have there the word no. There is no significant difference. For the alternative hypothesis, okay, yung positive side naman, there is significant difference. Yan ang pagkakaiba ng dalawang research hypothesis example. Okay. Pag mag-state kayo ng inyong research hypothesis. Lesson 5, scope and the limitation of the study. The scope and the limitation of the study present the coverage or boundaries of the research study in terms of subjects, objectives, issues, area, facilities, time frame, and the limitations or constraints of the study. In this portion, the researcher may also mention the research method and the sampling techniques, which should further be well explained in the research methodology chapter. Example of a scope and the limitation of the study. Okay. This is an example of the scope and the limitation of the study in the study research title of the test course of the technical, vocational, and livelihood students in Earth and Life Science. The subjects using the Open Educational Resources. So it includes the participants of the study, okay, which will be the grade 12 students enrolled at what schools we have here, the San Luis National High School of Rosales, Pangasinan, during this school year. Okay, this was studied in 2019-2020, and the participants consist of 13 males and 14 females. Okay, with a total of 27. So this will be the respondents. So those are the respondents. And the data needed in the study will be gathered with the use of a pre-test and post-test. Remember the following questions in writing the significance of the study. A. Who will benefit from the result of the study? And B. What particular benefits could be derived from the study? Okay, we have here an example of the significance of the study. Okay, you can start by stating this study is significant to the following. Okay, for example, for the teachers, they may find the result of the study helpful in planning and so on. And also, you can state it also for the significance of the study for the students. Okay, this study may be a great help to students. We can also state there for future researchers. Okay, so always remember the following questions in writing the significance of the study. A. Who will benefit from the result of study? And B. What particular benefits could be derived from the study? So do we have here the example? Now, let's go to lesson 7, definition of terms. Okay, we have the conceptual and the operational definition of terms. At least 10 terms. You define 10 terms used in the study. For the conceptual definition, these are based on literal definitions, which are taken from dictionaries, Wikipedia, encyclopedias, thesaurus, or glossary of textbooks. For the operational definitions, these are based on contextual meanings. In other words, the definition is derived from the way they are used in the study. Example of definition of terms. For the definition of terms, here are two definition of terms used in the study. As example, we have the open educational resources. And it is defined as these are the offline and online learning resources that the researcher used in delivering her lessons in earth and life science subject. Okay. Okay. The other term, we have the technical vocational livelihood, or the acronym TVL. And it refers to a track offered in senior high school, which focuses on technical skills. And in this study, it refers to the grade 12 students participants enrolled in San Luis National High School. So those are the example of definition of terms that you may use dictionaries, or how it is used also in the study for the definition. Okay, for your activity, let's see what can you do. Okay, for the direction, you are now ready to write your chapter 1 of your study. Use your research title from the previous module in writing the first chapter of your research paper. Make sure to include the 7 components discussed in this module. Number 1, background of the study. 2, conceptual framework. 3, statement of the problem. 4, research hypothesis. 5, scope and delimitation of the study. 6, significance of the study. And 7, definition of terms. Muli, sa ating napag-aralan sa araw na ito, sana ay mayroon tayong natutunan at napulot na bagong kaalaman. Diyan po nagtatapos ang ating aralin sa hapon na ito, mga kaibigan. Kaya muli, ako po si Tutor Arlyn mula sa San Fabian National High School, Senior High School. Magkita-kita po tayo muli sa susunod na session. Magandang araw. Masanto siya agaw si kayon amin.